back. So I wanted to do this video today to talk a little bit about sales, and how sales, it can be, really tough. But also I think it's important to understand why that is. And I just wanted to do this video, I suppose, to record what's happening to me at this moment, and then to see what happens moving forward. So at the moment I am a sales director at a company that sells to supply chain managers and supply chain executives, and essentially what's happening is the company in question hasn't made its targets, and because of that they're going through some redundancies. Now, the first time that this actually happened to me, I remember I took it super personally. I was very unhappy, very sort of like angry, and very blamey. Blame. However, the way that I kind of think about this now, it's more like it's just a business decision. The company didn't make its target, so now they need to reduce their spend. And one of the ways that people can reduce their spend is by reducing staff. And when thinking about it, essentially what's happening now is the company has a I think it's called a period where everything's being, all the roles being looked into, consultation, that's what they call it, going through a consultation period. And it's super interesting how the consultation period works. I've asked to be a representative of the consultation people so I can learn more about it, because I think that'd be super interesting. It's also interesting to me how founders react in this situation, how they told everybody, and then my boss, how he interacted with me and how I interact with him. Then also it's interesting to think about how the other people in my team are also reacting. I'm going to message one of the guys now, give him a call today. And I suppose, yeah, just being in that kind of ecosystem of what's happening and how it's panning out. It's also interesting to see how other people are taking it. It's my second time it's happened to me, and I'm taking it way better than the first time. I suppose one of the interesting things that I'm now thinking about is, in this next 2-week period, I'm going to try my best, and try my hardest, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does work out, brilliant, fantastic, light the beacons. But because there's a test doesn't mean, number one, I shouldn't try, because when you ask yourself why are you not trying, the real reason is actually because you don't want to be disappointed when you don't make it. But if I go through this 2-week period and I don't make it, then all that tells me is I didn't put in enough effort, or I didn't put in enough X or enough Y. And the reason that I think that way is because when you take responsibility for all your actions, it's empowering, because what that allows you to then do is it allows you to, number one, fully take control of your life, and number two, it allows you to change it. Because if you're It's your fault, you're responsible, it's also your opportunity to change. Feeling pretty good at the moment. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll find out. I think that'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see how that dynamic pans out. I think it'll also be really interesting to see how. Well, it's just great to have made the connections, within this company, and I'm really happy about going for this opportunity because it's taught me a lot actually about different ways to work with sales workflow processes that is a little bit less unstructured as I used to do it, and a little bit more structured to essentially get you to the results that you want in a period of time. So yeah, no, really enjoying every day actually, and it's not a matter of what happens to you; it's how you react to it, because the same things happen to everybody. So I suppose I'll wrap this video up, but moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the job. It's going to be interesting to see what happens after. It's going to be interesting to see who stays on, who doesn't stay on. And it's going to be interesting to, I suppose, yeah, just carry on learning. But hope you have a great day, guys. If you're going through a redundancy or some kind of process like this, feel free to drop me a message. And these situations can be really hard. Like I say, I've done it once before, and it did hit me quite hard that time. The second time, a lot easier. So if you'd like to have a chat, let me know. But thank you for watching, guys. And I think I'm going to push this to 10 minutes. I'm going to talk for another 3 minutes. So I hope that doesn't disappoint anyone that was thinking I was going to leave. But I suppose just to do a little bit of an overview of where I am and what I'm up to at the moment. Chinese language learning every day, going well. Started my new 5 AM routine today. And a couple of things that I've noticed is we get better at anything we do. We get better at X, we get better at Y. But the question is, do you want to get better at it? And imagine if everything that we do we will eventually get better at. The question is, are we doing what we want to get better at? Because if we're not doing what we want to get better at, then we need to stop doing it. In terms of sales, I actually do really like improving what I know about sales, improving what I understand about how it works, and then thinking about the half-life of information. So how quickly does the information that you know die? I suppose in sales it's probably, in terms of technology, it can be different. But in terms of conversations and understanding those conversations, I suppose that's probably a little bit more interesting, actually. Yeah, but I've been able to book a couple of meetings, which is quite important. So I suppose just laying out the, if people have questions like, what is sales, or how does sales work? It's essentially conversations. You need salespeople to have those conversations. And I think why salespeople are so important actually is because you need them to close the prospect. You need them to close the individual, and a lot of the time the reason that people don't make sales is just through indecision. They could have done it, it would have been perfectly fine, but they didn't. And the reason that they didn't was probably because they didn't have a salesperson there to close them. When people say, oh, I don't have time, you say something like, look, how much time do you think you need? 2 weeks or 2 months? And they say, 2 days or 2 weeks will be fine. You say, look, I just want to tell you something, in full transparency, it doesn't matter how long you take, you'll still be faced with the same 3 questions. Say, can I ask you these questions? You say, yes, sure. Say, does the product fit your criteria? Do you think it'll work for you? Yes. Okay, so you think it'll work for you. Do you think you'll be able to work it? Do you think you'll be able to facilitate it with your processes? Do you think that would work? Yeah. So, okay, and the third one, which I don't think it is, is that you're not the decision maker. which one is it? Or instead of saying which one is it, you're not the decision maker. Pause. Let them answer the question. You say, okay, well, let's do the deal. Push the paper, get the contract signed. I'll send it over to you today. And yeah, but anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for letting me overview where we are at the moment. And yeah, really interesting time. But have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. And yeah, keep kicking ass.